Posted by BP. The first step to reducing your emissions is to know where you stand. Find out your hashtag carbon footprint with our new calculator and share your pledge today. I pledge not to spill 4.9 million barrels of oil into the Gulf of Mexico, which they still haven't cleaned up, by the way. Welcome to r/Murderedbywords, where words can always hurt you. From CNBC. To retire at 65, millennials will need to save nearly half of their paycheck. I guess they better start planning and saving. Stop spending and spending. Yeah, with rent being 25 to 60% of my income, and the student loans I have to pay off, and the health insurance that comes out of my paycheck, and the vehicle maintenance, and the groceries I have to buy, not to mention the required continuing education courses and license renewal fees required for those of us in the healthcare industry, the last $50 I have at the end of each month will guarantee that I can retire by the time I'm 65. Good call. Man, I don't understand poor millennials. Why don't you just buy yourself more money? EA Games. How much will it cost to unlock the rest of this tweet? I think the spookiest thing that happened last night at Horror Nights was when Terry Crews rudely said, no, when I asked for a picture. Reply from Terry Crews. No, the scariest thing I saw was you rudely pushing through my kids like a zombie to ask for one. This woman is brave. If I pushed Terry Crews' kids in front of him, I'd be on my knees apologizing. Guys like you confuse me, but the women around you genuinely make me resent women. You treat women like garbage and they flock to you, while most men that show women respect in this day and age just get walked on or yelled at by the same women who enjoy being treated like garbage. Or the women I hang out with have a sense of humor about life and flock to guys like me instead of dudes who take everything they see seriously, and then resent women for not wanting to bang them. This is a you problem, not a them problem. Get some help before we hear about a headless Instagram model in your trunk cause she didn't think you were the nice guy you think you are. Why are so many people talking badly about Boris Johnson when he's only respecting the will of the majority of the people of the UK who voted to leave the EU? Time for the bus analogy again. You live in Manchester and voted to go to London. You've boarded the bus. The driver admitted he didn't have a driving license and got off. Another driver entered. She drove you to Newcastle before admitting she didn't know the way and got off. Now you're on your third driver. He's driving down country lanes at 120 miles per hour. He ignores red lights, he's run over 3 dogs and 7 cats so far. He says that if there's a child in his way, it'll all be the parents' fault when he doesn't brake. And now the police stopped him and told him he's not allowed to drive until he's sobered up. He's now yelling at the top of his lungs how the police are thwarting the will of his passengers, tries to assault the police officers, and lands a heavy blow on his nose. Even if you still want to go to London, I say it's appropriate to criticize the driver at this point. Jeremy Clarkson brands Greta Thunberg a spoilt brat who should shut up and get back to school. Not sure Jeremy Clarkson, who was 55 years of age when he was fired for beating up a producer on Top Gear because there was no hot food, should be calling anyone a spoiled brat. Well, look on the bright side, Jeremy Clarkson. If Greta Thunberg fails in her mission, all food will be hot food. Posted by CNN. Joker, the film about a marginalized clown who goes on a killing rampage, is facing a wave of criticism that it glorifies a killer and could encourage copycat attacks. Who really glorifies killers here? A comic book movie about an effing clown? Or a news network that plasters the name, face, and manifesto of every school shooter across the nation 30 seconds after it happens, despite experts saying that it absolutely inspires others? I get that Native Americans are upset. I get it. That being said, this country would not be what it is today if the actions of our past were not taken. What do you mean by that? They mean Native Americans should feel grateful that 90% of their population was exterminated because the remaining 10% get to live in poverty on reservations while everyone else gets to enjoy Starbucks and Amazon Prime. And pretend our military isn't terrorizing the rest of the world so we can live in a protective bubble of ignorance. Bill O'Reilly tweets, Beto said he met a woman working 4 jobs and raising a special needs child. I don't believe him. Sorry. Reply from Beto O'Rourke. This is her. Her name is Gina. Her daughter's name is Summer. The problem with our economy is she has to live in her car while a disgraced TV host like you makes millions. From the Wall Street Journal. 15 years ago, a generation of baby boomers built their dream homes. Now they can't sell them. A growing problem in real estate, too many too big houses. They should spend less money on coffee and try pulling themselves up by their bootstraps and accepting a low offer just to get some experience selling houses under their belts. More depressing news. Are millennials destroying the mansion industry? Breaking news, Apple pulled an app that let Hong Kong protesters track the police, a day after facing intense criticism from Chinese state media. Apple would have removed an app that kept Anne Frank safe if it meant protecting their market share in Germany. Your generation are mostly spoiled brats that cry if they don't get their way. 315 likes. As if your generation didn't spit on soldiers and implode if a black person used the same water fountain. Wake up, Wanda. 4.6 thousand likes. And the death spiral says it best in the comments. If boomers don't like the way millennials turned out, then why did their generation raise millennials to be the way they are? My fiancé gets back from deployment in 2 days. How do I get rid of these? And this girl has so many hickeys, it legit looks like someone tried to strangle her. Makeup. Loads and loads of makeup, preferably white. Cover the face area as well to match the neck. Get yourself a red nose to finish the cover up. That way, you can look like a clown since your relationship is an effing joke. Posted by The Kink Shop, which is an adult store. Kink Shop friends. Meet Rear Admiral Francis Stash Belkowski. Rear Admiral Belkowski retired from the U.S. Coast Guard in 2018. He is currently Department Chair of Global Business and Transportation Department at SUNY at Maritime College. In his free time, Rear Admiral Belkowski enjoys shoplifting from small businesses, specifically testers from adult boutiques, as witnessed in this video. We wish him all the best in his retirement, a sincere thank you for his service, and extreme and utter disappointment in his personal morals. Well, my man has to steal some butt plugs. He's the Rear Admiral after all. He's still gotta guard that booty. Can't spell manipulative without a man. Also can't spell woman without man. What's your point? Refer to us as ladies, we don't mind. Can't spell ladies without lad. Try again. And I'd like to add this contribution from the Tater Man down in the comments. If we're reposting other people's content, then I'll say, can't spell advertisements without semen between the tits. Ladies, you can't be drafted. Sit down when war is discussed. Reply from Colonel Kim Olsen of the US Air Force. A lot of men have told me to sit down and shut up. Now, those men call me Colonel. So, this guy's Canadian. Canada doesn't have a draft. So, this guy, who can't be drafted, is saying that people who can't be drafted have no right to talk about war. Posted by a pediatrician. Today in one of our med classes, we talked about LGBT patients and the professor isn't taking anyone's garbage. A student asked, what if we don't feel comfortable treating someone following that lifestyle? The professor said, find a different career. Dappler adds this down in the comments. My professor told us in psych to list all the people we hate or would not like to treat. Pedophiles, racists, molesters, etc. After everything was written down, a whole whiteboard full, he wrote under it, our clients. Very eye-opening for psychotherapy students. This is in response to a post by J. Allen Brack, the president of Blizzard Entertainment, after he made a post saying that banning the Hearthstone players had nothing to do with their relationship with China. I once visited a cattle farm where they had this big machine that would roll around the cow pasture scooping up droppings. Then, the machine would drop all of it into a gigantic container where it could be processed for fertilizer. Well, one day, that container broke, and a week's worth of accumulated cow feces spilled out all over the pasture. And that was the biggest pile of BS I had ever seen, until I read this. That was r/slash murdered by words, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.